Hey guys, this is Laura from Requested Reviews, and today we're going to be taking a behind-the-scenes look at the Lost Ways. As you can see, I'm on the sales page right now, so what I did, I went ahead and ordered the physical and digital product, and today I'm going to show you the digital product. So here's what I got access to. So right away I noticed that I not only got the Lost Ways ebook, I also got 3 bonuses. What every survivalist should grow in his backyard, how to outlive an EMP the early pioneer way, and a step-by-step guide to building your own can rotation system. So today we're just going to be taking a look at the Lost Ways because there's a ton of information in there and it's going to take a while. So let's go. Okay, so here's the table of contents. It's a very long table of contents, which means there's a ton of information in this book, but let's get started. First, he talks about how to build a self-feeding fire, and then he kind of goes into a bunch of pioneer recipes, and they are really easy, simple, few ingredients, hearty food kind of recipes that you can make. The one negative on this is that he didn't include pictures for these recipes. I would have liked to have seen what my dinner was supposed to look like. I love pictures with recipes. In the more complicated recipes that he has, like this pemmican recipe, for example, he does give step-by-step pictures so you know what each step should look like. So that's good. He also goes into some cattail recipes. He talks about how to build a smokehouse. He gives some diagrams on how to build the smokehouse, but the diagrams are okay. I mean, they show you the general look and feel of the smokehouse, but they're not super specific, so you're kind of on your own in a way of figuring out measurements and things like that. So I thought it was interesting that he had a section on how to keep water clean. I hadn't even really thought of that one for some reason. And also how to make candles and glue out of pine resin. Now this one, I feel like you'd have to be pretty desperate to, or pretty interested in the subject to make candles and glue out of pine resin because it looks like a lot of work, but I'm happy to see it there because I think just the more information we have, the better. So he has a section on how the sheriffs from the frontiers defended their villages and towns. So there's a lot of information on that. One of the more interesting parts of the book that I appreciated was how to forage for food. So in each section here, he's got a really great picture that's really clear to show you exactly what to look for. He also talks about when and how to forage it, as well as what it tastes like and what it goes well with. So it's more than just a simple, oh, here's what you can eat and here's a picture. He does go into it a little bit more, which I really appreciated. Now, keep in mind that this is the kind of thing you might be saying to yourself, well, I can look that up on Google or YouTube or whatever, but the thing is, if anything happens and we no longer have electricity or access to Google or YouTube, this is an awesome thing to have in your house physically, I believe, because then you've got all the pictures, you've got access to it. I don't know about you, but I'm slightly terrified of eating the wrong thing or making myself sick, and so I love how clear his instructions are and how clear the pictures are for what is good food. Another recipe would be on making sourdough and bark bread. The bark bread looked to me to be quite labor intensive. The sourdough, of course, looked simple, but I kind of thought it was cool that you could actually make bark bread and eat it. There's a whole section on trapping beaver and muskrat and the trails and things like that. He gives different diagrams of the different kinds of traps. I love that there's a section here on herbal poultices to help heal wounds, because of course if anything happens and we don't have access to medicines and things like that, this would be a super important section to have around. There's another great section on root cellars. One thing that I thought was interesting was, and I didn't realize that you couldn't just put things into root cellars. There's a way to prepare them for storing them in root cellars, and that was brand new information for me. There's cooking with a cast iron, roasting meats, Dutch oven cooking. There's some more recipes here. There's also a great section on navigating without using a GPS system. Of course, no survival book would be complete without a section on how to make your own beer, or the harder stuff, which I love, that he calls moonshine. So if that interests you, that is in there. Of course, there's all sorts of information on guns. There's even how to cast your own bullets and how to make your own gunpowder. There's even how to make your own knives, and how to build your own roundhouse. There's a section here on making soap. He prefers apparently to make soap with modern ingredients, but he does include a section on how to make soap the old-fashioned way as well. There's how to install a wood-burning stove. He's got some interesting lessons from the Donner Party. This is a little scary. Small wounds equal death. Okay, here's a section on soap making the old-fashioned way. I love that he included a section on toothpaste. Just felt like one of those things we wouldn't have thought of, or I wouldn't have thought of, but I'm glad is in there. Even snowshoes. He's got a section on snowshoes. And then how our forefathers built their sawmills, grain mills, and stamping mills, how the overshot wheel works, and things like that, building your own water wheel. And so that is the end of the table of contents. So yes, overall, I definitely recommend The Lost Ways. I love that it's not trying to sell you a million different pieces of survival gear. It's not saying that you have to go buy a ton of things. It's really teaching you how to live off the land, the old-fashioned way, the way our ancestors used to, and I think that's awesome. And I'm very excited to get my physical version in the mail in about 10 days, and I'm excited to have it in the house just in case. It sort of gives me some peace of mind to have it around. So thanks for listening, and hope you guys enjoy The Lost Ways.